Hello, and welcome on in to another episode of the Digital Quill podcast with your host, Mars Wilson. How are you doing today? I know I ask that every episode, but that's like me, one, breaking the ice, and also two, trying to genuinely connect with you because we're people. I assume you're a human being listening to this and not like a robot, which would be weird. Can robots even listen to podcasts? Is that a thing? If that's a thing, then yay. So game day, anybody? In person game day at that one. So I wasn't going to record today. I'm just going to get that out of the way. I was not going to hop in today and record. I was going to leave the only recordings I did as the ones I've already done this week. My brain is all over the place. It's thinking about a million different things, but then I also am telling myself that moms think a million different things and they still have to take care of their kids. Engineers think a million different things and they still have to build the damn bridge. Architects probably going through a lot of life sometimes, and they still have to build the building that houses the people. And I am a writer, a podcaster, a social media person, an influencer, if you want to call it that. I don't know how much I influence, but I hate that word. I detest it. I will not be an influencer. No, I'm kidding. It's just a hat to wear. It's not a bad thing. So with that being said, I am here. I have no idea why I'm here. Maybe I don't need to know the why. Maybe I just need to write down the two talking points, or talk about the two talking points I wrote down, which happens to be, one is Starred. I don't know why I started, but AMC horror show, and then something far more personal than this story, completely unrelated. I literally was thinking about that right before I hit record. I was like, oh, these two topics are completely unrelated. Should I write more so it makes more sense? But then I was like, you're probably going to talk about extra topics anyway. So, for instance, Stormy is currently over there getting an orange ball out. And something else? Stormy. That is so adorable. Oh my gosh. What a weird cat. What a weird... See? Did you want to look at the camera? Hi. Yep. Guest appearance from Stormbow the cat. Yes. I'm hoping she becomes a lap cat one day, but that might not happen. Although she's still young, it's still possible. Why are you throwing toys out of the basket? Children. Cute. She's looking at me like, why not? Aren't you gonna throw toys out of the basket later? I was laying there. I was thinking about how I'm like, I don't have the mental fortitude or energy or the topics to talk about anything today or write a podcast, notes, or anything. And then I thought about something I thought about last night as I was about to fall asleep. I thought about it. I did think about it before I fell asleep, but I thought about it while watching a show. It literally dawned on me. So we're going to start with the super duper personal story, because of course we are. Damn it. It's not what I want to start with, but it sets the stage. It stages the current present right here, right now, in this second, by talking about yesterday. I'm not so great at this storytelling thing, am I? I don't feel like I'm great, but I don't know. Because, like, this feels like a chore right now, in a way. But, like, not really like a chore I don't want to do. It feels like you want to move the boulder. That is something you want to do. But moving the boulder takes a lot of work, right? You like this boulder. You want to get the boulder home. But the boulder takes a lot of work. You still persevere and move the boulder home, but you're dog-ass tired by the time that you do. I don't know if that metaphor makes sense to my hesitancy to recording today, but I'm hoping that it does. And if it doesn't, give me your metaphor instead. So, weird place to confess to the internet thoughts of yourself. But whatever. I've confessed weirder shit here online. It is the nature of the beast. I don't know how to begin because this isn't like my trauma personal. This is like fundamentally who I might be personal, and I don't even have a good grasp on it. And I feel like I have a better grasp than I did like 7 years ago. I have a better grasp than I did 10 years ago, that's for sure. But I'm still torn in so many ways, and I've had conversations with friends over it recently, but like even then in those conversations, like I'm still piecing stuff together. And last night, I might have actually gotten a lot closer last night, just with the simple thought as to like my home life. I've been kind of peeling back the layers, right? By the way, this is just fake blood on my hands. I did a TikTok video, and it's actually kind of funny, and I hope the fake blood warning sticks around and they don't report or ban my video. But whatever. It's just fake blood. I have a lot of it still, because I try to get a new bottle every Halloween, because I like making messes. And then cleaning them up immediately after. Or within the 24-hour period. But anyway, I was thinking about my home life yesterday while watching TV. What were we watching? Oh, Bleach. We are trying to get through Bleach again. And I think we're still in the Soul Society, where the Vizards and the Arankars and the Soul Society are all fighting each other, and Aizen is... Anyway, I was thinking about it because I'm pulling back the layers, right, on my life and how I grew up and who I am, and still trying to like piece together a stronger foundation. And I thought about it, and I was like, wait a fucking second. Because I was thinking about the nuclear family model, right? Mom and a dad raising kids in a single family household, something like that, right? And then I was thinking about how I was raised without a mom and a dad. I was raised by my grandparents, who I called mom and dad, which was a very easy transition. I was 6 or 7 when they adopted me, and as soon as the judge was like, do you want to be a Wilson? I was like, abso-fucking-lutely, Judge. I mean, Your Honor. Absolutely, Your Honor. I am henceforth always a Wilson, and that is my dad and my mom over there. Like, the courtroom, I still... that memory. But, I was thinking about it. I was thinking about what I thought about growing up, having that knowledge, that understanding that I didn't have a mom and dad raising me, that I wasn't ever going to have a mom and dad raising me, that they didn't want to. More than that. And I thought, the thought dawned on me. I was sitting there, I was watching Bleach, I was in my brain, half paying attention to the show, half paying attention to my thoughts, and I remembered I used to romanticize fantasize, daydream about my biological parents getting clean, magically changing into not monsters, and the four of us living together, or at least having dinner together on a semi-periodic basis, like family would. And it's funny is I didn't dream or romanticize or fantasize about having my grandparents, my parents, be my grandparents only. It wasn't like I wish mom and dad were here so mom and dad could be, grandpa and grandpa, or grandma and grandpa. But no, it was, this is my mom and dad. I know they're my grandparents because they did not birth me. But this is who loves me and raises me. This is who I learn from. This is my parental figures. And the idea of that thought, that memory, that want, that need I had growing up, dream. I just wanted love. I just wanted love. And not all the negativity and the danger and the anger. And it's funny that I say that, because if you've listened to prior episodes, especially the first 15 of the Digital Quill podcast, you would know that there is absolutely zero reason I should ever want my biological father in my life. And I'd agree. I'd agree that there is absolutely zero reason that I should ever want someone who did what they did, how they did, for as long as they did, in the ways that they did. But then that's where my humanity instinct kicks in, and it's like, wait a minute. Wait a fucking minute. I know why. I know why I would want even a monster in my life, and that is because somewhere the human became the monster. Didn't start out that way. Was created that way. And I had so much anger and so much resentment. More than just the ADHD, autism outbursts that you get when you're a little kid still learning to control your emotions. I mean the trauma kind. I mean the I'm surprised I wasn't institutionalized sometimes kind. Big emotions in a big world. The humanity part of me kicks in. And it tells me, like I've told you guys here today. And it only took me, actually, until my adult years to really get a grasp on this. I didn't have this concept when I was 15. I was still angry. I didn't have this concept when I was 10. I was still angry. But the concept I have now is one that I had started back in the day. The person themselves are not necessarily a monster. That's kind of where the line gets blurred. Actions, choices, we all have them. And I cannot help but wonder, as I've mentioned in episodes talking about the book, and talking about community, and talking about drug addiction, amongst other things. But wonder just how much if a stronger, resilient community was involved in his life, would he have done the things he did to me, to her, to anybody else, to himself? I don't know enough about the addiction and recovery world other than my own experiences, and I don't want to say that I don't want to sound like an apologist, because that isn't what this is. And I could just see the tabloids now in like 15 to 20 years from now. Mars Wilson and a rapist apologist. Like, no. Think about my goal here. What is it? It's a better life for not only myself, but everyone around me and everyone on this planet. Because at the end of the day, I don't really care what happens to me. The worst of the worst has already happened to me. My innocence was taken, ripped from me. I've seen it happen to other people. You can't do anything to me that I didn't do myself. I am strong. A lot stronger than I care to admit sometimes. And that's why, having been through what I've been through, I really do. I want better for everybody. Not just victims. Not just people who go through tragedies, but the people who cause them too. Because if they weren't causing them, maybe we wouldn't be traumatized. At least not at the hands of other people. Mother Nature might be a different story. But like, golden rule. Do not destroy people or property intentionally. And those were all very intentional. Even if it wasn't stated as an intention. Selfish. But like the 9th level of hell, selfish kind of stuff. And that's like bleeding into happier territory. Why I think I am poly. I still hate saying that out loud because I'm still not really comfortable with that. I used to write a lot of love poems. And there was one poem I wrote when I was probably 14, 15. Love is Love. It was titled Love is Love, and I don't remember it very much. It's probably buried somewhere in my thousands of poems. But that was like one of the very first times I really noticed that I might not be monogamous. And there were even times before that when I first started showing interest in girls, which was around 5 years old. And then it was around 10. And also several times before that. That I don't know. My fundamental, like non-negotiable almost, is love is love. And love, like the rest of us, should be autonomous. It takes a lot of conversations and communication in order to live that way. Which, in my personal opinion, I think is something we've been taught not to be able to do. Communicate. Or we've been trying to teach ourselves to communicate in only one way. And that kind of takes the autonomy and individualism out of things, which I guess you could argue there are people in the world who don't really believe in individuality and think everything should be a melting pot of one thing. Well, a reality might be painting a different picture than that. For some reason, I want to believe that I'm wrong for wanting more love in my life, right? For wanting more love in people's lives in general. And I keep fighting myself on that. I'm like, how is that wrong? How is it wrong for wanting love in your life? Why are you telling yourself that it is? And I don't have an answer. The only answer I really have is that we live in a society hell-bent on telling us that the cookie cutter way is the right way. Well, cookies sometimes crumble, especially if you don't know how to make them correctly. And that means there's crumbles for everybody. I don't know. But it's something I'm still wrestling with. And I feel like a lot of my answers might lie within my own family dynamics and how I viewed the world growing up. And I'm pretty set on the idea that as much as I do want to be married and have kids, I can't see how that is actually going to happen in my life with the way I would want to run relationships, because I want people to be free. Free to love, free to live, free to exist, free to be. All I can do is keep showing up in love. All I can do is keep showing up with freedom and hope that I am gifted the same. That is all I got for now as far as how that goes. So if you have any thoughts, any questions, any comments, any concerns, you want to tell me that it's because I'm traumatized beyond belief and need to convert myself in conversion therapy, that might actually be a better and easier answer than anything else. So by all means, comment below. I think humans have very, very, very many layers. Layers in relationships, layers in love, layers to themselves. Onions have layers. And I feel like not celebrating those layers is more detrimental in the long run than it is by focusing on only one layer. Because if you only focus on one layer, the rest of the cake, the rest of the layered cake, is, no longer as important, which is false, because you kind of need all the layers in a layer cake. It is such a weird place to be in. Questioning your relationships, questioning how you show up in relationships, questioning if you can. And it's a weird world sometimes, because something about ancient humans and how they used to do love, and I think Western culture does marriage in such different ways from other cultures, and I don't know. I need to do some actual research, but where do I begin? Where do I start with? I guess I could start with the internet, but I want to hear it from people. I don't want to read ancient texts and stories. I want to hear from people. I want to hear from people how this works, because the knowledge from the internet and the knowledge from books and the knowledge from stories is beneficial and will help for sure. That's not what I'm saying here. What I'm saying here is it would make me feel less alone to hear from other people. See them living life. I don't have a lot of examples. And that's kind of the thing right there. I'm not going to have very many examples for how I view this, because for someone who doesn't do very niche things, it's very niche in a way. Love is love, and love should be autonomous. People should be able to express their love for their people in the way that benefits their own relationships with themselves and their relationships with their people. It is not up to additional parties to tell you how to live your relationship, only if it is affecting you negatively. That's when mediation comes into play, and that's when the village or community mindset is like, hey, you said something kind of weird the other day to them. You might want to have a dialogue. That's all I'm going to say, though. Not stepping over people's feet, but symbiotic, letting energy flow in such a way that everyone, not just two, is working together. I don't know if that makes sense. The closest definition I have in all of my researching is kitchen table polyamory or kitchen polyamory, which sounds very, very similar to what I'm describing, but it's still not it. It's still not it. And then I have the other question of okay, well, before the Western culture, turned marriage into a business contract, which, by the way, if you're going to get divorced, you are technically being sued for your freedom. Don't ask me how I know. Don't ask me how I know. I want love and life for people, for whatever that means for them. There's a lot of humans who can handle only one person. And unfortunately, I feel suffocated. It's always been a weird problem, and I do have these conversations with the start of my relationships, but they always end up going in a monogamous way, which ends up making me act out, and not act out in all the ways, but I start closing up because that's just what I do. It's a weird conundrum because the next problem and the next layer to that problem is I do love these humans and they love me. How am I able to express that if they expect monogamy out of me? One attachment, one person, one love. How do I thought about this last night too, because I have a specific situation of which I think about this, and it would almost have to be I hate the way I frame this. If a monogamous person wanted to be with a non-monogamous person, because that's their person, that is the monogamous person's person, but the non-monogamous person is not only that person, but potentially other persons, could that be respected? Because what I'm thinking is, I don't think it needs to be two ways. I don't think you need to both be monogamous. I feel I don't know if that makes sense either. It adds more complications and layers to the already complicated layered pie, and I am done talking about it. I need to go deliberate elsewhere instead of out loud to myself on a recorded episode. Do I delete this episode? Who knows? I made it 30 minutes in, so I might as well not. And who knows? Maybe there are other people who are thinking in a very similar way that I do, and maybe this will help them. And maybe by helping them, they'll help me. There's that symbiotic BS I was just talking about. There it is. So please, people of the earth, comment your thoughts. Even if you are strictly monogamous, I don't care. I won't learn anything if we don't talk to each other. So Comment your thoughts. Tell me anything and everything. I won't know if I'm supposed to go jump out the Golden Gate Bridge unless you talk to me. So, it's still a possibility. But we'll see. Finally, this story is slightly more amusing, but also disturbing. It's not a great story. And by great, I don't mean it has good morals in it. And it might have good lessons in it on what not to do and where not to work. But, and where not to give your money to. But, whatever. Once upon a time, back in the day, I had always wanted to work in a movie theater because I am a bit of a movie aficionado. I like movies. I like film. I like directors. I like acting. I like cinematography. And I worked at AMC for a while. And I think it's long enough that I can talk about all of the shit publicly. And I do mean all of it. For example, did you know that because movie theaters, specifically AMC, are a 24-hour entertainment business, that you do not get holiday pay unless you are a general manager? They might have changed that, but I doubt it. That was interesting to learn, considering I was supposed to be there pretty much all day for both holidays. Let's see. Oh. I've met a lot of rude customers while working in retail and other stuff, right? But out of all the places I've ever worked, for some reason, movie theaters bring out the absolute worst in people. And I get it. I do. I hate being late to seeing the previews of the movie too. But how about we don't throw our change at people when they literally just clocked on and are doing their damnedest to get you to your show? I am never going to forget that person or that person's face. I hope they're having a good life and a better time, and I've seen more movies since then, but that was like one of 8 things that made me quit that week. I prefer Harkins over AMC. And there's actually a few reasons for that. We are gonna look up the Harkins lore. Yep, there it is. Solo desktop. There it is. Harkins history. Privately owned and operated since 1933. Harkins Theaters has become the largest independently owned theater companies with 32 theater locations in 4 states and more than 90 years of rich history. Harkins remained the Southwest's premier entertainment company. Harkins' first theater built in 1940 by founder Red Harkins, Valley Art, originally named the College Theater, which by the way is still in Tempe to this day. It's not in operation, I don't believe. Is Arizona's oldest and longest operating movie theater, ultimately passed down to his son Dan. Harkins aims to make ultimate movie-going an immersive event. Harkins Theaters is known for the trailblazer approach and innovative amenities, movie-going experience, and leadership within the community. Now listen to this, okay? I don't know this man. This man is long since dead, right? He is probably dust, not even bones anymore. And I read this on the back of a popcorn bag. when I went to Fry's Marketplace one day and found that Harkins started selling their popcorn on the shelves, which, by the way, is something AMC started doing afterwards. Fucking copycats. If you can't tell, I have a serious hatred for AMC. Red Harkins. In 1931, Red rode out of Cincinnati, determined to seek his fortune in Hollywood by landing a career in the world of talking pictures. He arrived in Tempe almost penniless, but with a new dream. It was 1933 when Red opened the first Harkins Theater, the State Theater in Tempe. He was just 18 years old. By 1940, Red built his dream movie house, the College Theater, today's Valley Art. The College Theater was full of fantastic innovations and set a new standard for the theaters, and established a Harkins tradition of employing the latest technology to constantly improve the movie-going experience. When Red passed away in 1974, he left an enduring legacy of business and community service. The family theater business was left in the hands of his eldest son, Dan. And that be Dan. So it's interesting, to me. After working at AMC for a spell, getting to know the vibe of the company and how it operated, I asked a lot of questions and got a lot more answers than I really care to admit about some stuff, some of which I don't remember, but some of it made a lot of sense back in the day, and it's one of the other biggest reasons I am disenchanted with AMC Movie Corporation. Anytime I've walked into any AMC, I feel like I'm walking into a lobby in a digital sphere of corporate magnitude. I feel like I'm walking into a techno hellscape of not even like movie loving values, just money. And I know all places have their issues. Everything does. Nothing's perfect. But anytime I've walked into a Harkins, and I didn't notice this until I started questioning why, I felt better. The energy felt lighter. It felt more family friendly. I felt like I could enjoy a movie experience and I wasn't uncomfortable the entire fucking time. And it's always been that way. Anytime I would go to AMC or Harkins, from growing up to an adult, to before I worked at AMC to afterwards. And, the story I'm going to share is entirely separate from Harkins and AMC. But it's relevant enough. Because it's like what started me on questioning whether or not I liked AMC. Which is funny, because it, like I said, it has like very little relevance other than it was the place of which I worked. AMC hires 14.5-year-olds with parents' permission, or 15-year-olds with parents' permission. That's a freshman in high school. Most companies won't hire you unless you're 16 or older. That's a sophomore in high school, sophomore, junior. I was 18, 19 at the time of being hired and working there. Out of school. And there were 28, 32-year-old managers, 28 to 32, that age range. And let's just say that some of the conversations I overheard and the things I witnessed while drowning in work, calling for a backup repeatedly over and over again because I'm not a manager, I'm just an associate. And then to turn around and see, managers flirting with little kids, with, babies, 14-year-olds, 15-year-olds, like, come on, man. That was one of the biggest reasons I quit, because I did try to bring it up I tried to bring it up to the people, the girls. I tried to bring it up to the, like, hey, maybe we don't talk about this. Like, in a I'm watching you kind of passive way. I even brought it up to the managers, and none of them fucking cared. No one cared. So I was like, I don't want to watch this. No one's doing anything. No one cares to do anything. This is creepy. Goodbye. I didn't want to leave, but like, when you kind of exhaust all your options, and you go from being a really good, upstanding employee to suddenly you're getting written up for coupons that you were trained over by one of their best people. And when you bring that up and you were saying, hey, like, they taught me, so-and-so taught me to do this. This is like your manager and training person. Can we have them or bring them in here too and talk to them? So why was I punished for bringing up, concerns that were concerning? I got the message. After that write-up and after that customer threw their change at me and after I had been dealing with all of that for like a month, I was done. I was like, okay. And they were like, you can take your break. And I'm like, all right, bet. So I took my break. Called up a friend. I'm like, hey, I'm done here. I can't be around these pedophiles. I can't be around these adult men making goo-goo eyes at these little girls. I can't be around this job that is soul-sucking. So I had a friend pick me up. We went to lunch. And that was that. I blocked AMC's phone number so they couldn't call me because I was like, you guys didn't listen to me. You guys wrote me up for something that was absolutely fucking bullshit. So, you know what? Corporate America. The bird is the word. Just saying. If you know, then you know. Oh, I got a big one. Anyway. I know that situation was isolated just because of, like, it was a job in one location. But that entire thing gave me such a distaste for AMC. Not even corporate gave a fuck about what was going on in their building. And I was like, all right, bet. I'm surrounded by creeps. Goodbye. I'm not about to be sucked into your world because I can't save anybody. I already tried. I still think about that to this day. I still talk about that story to people whenever I bring up working at AMC. Why? Because people need to know that some places are fucking creepy. Change my mind. Change my mind. I really hope the people who work there now are, like, okay. And I hope that the people that worked there back then got out of there unscathed. Who knows, though? I didn't exactly make work friends. Mostly because I already had the ick. I never saw anything physical, which is honestly probably for the best because I might have committed a crime. And I don't look good in orange. But, leaning over the counter, there's a certain level of body language that you can tell when a male is flirting or a person is flirting. And, yeah. What I saw back in the day when I needed backup, and actually it was me and another concession person. We both needed backup because we were drowning. And that's when I was radioing, and I radioed 2 or 3 times, and by the second or third time I looked behind me where the managers were, and I'm like, I've been radioing you. We've been radioing you. You can see in your direct line of sight that we are drowning, and we could likely use manager support. Shame on you. Because not only did you affect your customers that way too, you affected your employees, and that is shame on you. I hope you learn better from then, because that was 5 years ago? 5 or 6 years ago? When was 2018, 2019? 2018. It was 2018 to 2019 that I worked there. And then after that, I think it was the Village Inn. I still think about that. And I still think about what I could do differently if I was faced with that situation again. And honestly, committing a crime might be might be a good answer. I want to get into self-defense classes and stuff, just so that if I do see some crazy shit, I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready. I just want what's best for human beings, and I'm not the person who's going to be able to tell you what's best for you. But making choices like some of the things I've witnessed and some of the choices I've made in life, not necessarily what's best for people. Inaction can just be just as bad as a bad choice. Not choosing to choose is still a choice. Remember this? Probably not, because I haven't uploaded that video yet. It's Friday. I was going to do a live stream of Mars Tries Things. But I've already kind of done that. The streaming. Is that supposed to be a tail on the back? You're shitting me. After you're done with this episode, go listen to the numerology episode. Because tell me why. That's a 47. And tell me why I didn't notice that when I unboxed it the first time. Numerology probably should be my new study, and I have studied it. It doesn't make sense. Numbers. Are they more important than I really want to give them credit for? I mean, they're in everything. You have to count things, too. The alphabet has numbers attached. Why is life life? And why are humans humans? Questions I will always be asking because, as I've said in a previous episode, and I will say in future episodes, I am an omni-seeker. Seeking knowledge, seeking people, seeking experience, seeking life. I am really, I'm blessed in a way to be living here now. There was a lot of chances where I probably wasn't going to. And now I get the chance to know people and learn from them. And all of you have such incredible knowledge. Like, it reaffirms my belief that I am stupid, which is fine. Not for the reasons you think, but because, like, objectively, everyone's smart in a way. We can probably agree to that. We're all smart in a way, in a subject, in a something. It feels good being stupid sometimes, because that just tells me that I have more to learn and more questions to ask and more people to get to know and more connections to build. I don't think I would be alive now if it wasn't for me attempting to question and, like, learn about other people. There's a few other things for that, but, like, at the heart of it, people are what have saved me. And actually, the other day I got really excited, and I'm actually, like, buzzing. Internally, I can feel the noise escaping, and the Unsealed, that challenge I shared with you. Let me pull it up right now. I shouldn't technically still be logged in, but I am. Here we go. Dear dream that scares me. Write a letter to a dream that scares you. Sometimes the goals that mean the most are also the ones that intimidate us the most. Write a letter to a dream that feels overwhelming, risky, or even impossible. Share the fear it brings up, the doubt it stirs, and the reasons you still hold on to it. Let your words explore the tension between fear and hope and the courage it takes to chase something that truly matters. I might have shared with you the other day that I finally figured out what I'm doing. And my dream is people. And my letter is going to start off something like, Dear people. Dear people of the world, you are my dream. Living your lives and seeing you love. Seeing you build your communities and create your art. Like, I'm going to create too. I keep trying to stop, right? I keep trying to just fade into absolute nothing. But I can't. I have a drive, a pull, something that keeps pushing me forward even when I don't want it to. Maybe that's a lie. Maybe I do want it to. Maybe I'm just lying to myself. But my dream is people. It's humanity, it's prosperity, it's love, it's the miracle. The miracle that makes up you and I. Because think about it. Zoom all the way out. You are now a speck of dust. You are a speck of dust in a greater cosmos. In an even greater cosmos than that. But you are here right now. You're here right now. You are here in this time and space right now listening to this show, right? You're right here right now. And you might as well be everything. There is a game that I keep talking about off and on. And I keep showing it to people. And we'll get to it. Monday's episode, we will live stream it for the very first time. I think I'm ready. We'll see. But I think I'm ready. I mean, I did do my first game live stream, so I could probably be ready. You know, it's possible. it's a potential. Someday maybe. But who knows? Numerology. Numbers are just numbers. They're not real. They can't hurt me. Numbers have absolutely no meaning whatsoever. They are just a quantification. That is all. Quantification. Quantum. I don't like the rabbit hole my brain is trying to take me down. Stop. Stop. Don't do it. Do not go down what quant means, because then you'll think about what quantum computing means, and then you'll probably go down the quantum computing rabbit hole, and we're not ready. We're not ready. We are not ready for a quantum computing rabbit hole. We have already gone down enough. Nope. Numbers don't exist. It's fine. They don't exist. I live in a world without numbers. I was lucky. I was really lucky. Sorry. I'm watching the timer here on the clock, and you would only get it if you lived my experience. So that's all I'm going to say. Human life is weird. I'm glad I get to experience it with you. I'm glad you get to experience it too, because damn, that's awesome. From someone who has tried to take their life thrice, and all 3 times should have worked. And then the earlier stuff I probably shared about once or twice. I guess I'm meant to be here. Maybe. Who knows? I like it enough. But my dream that scares me, the dream that I'm going to write the letter to, and I'm actually probably going to work on that right now, is people. That's the dream that scares me. Because as much as I am inspired by, intrigued by, curious over, you guys also terrify me. I am never gonna fully grasp your perspective, just as you are never fully going to grasp mine. And that's terrifying. Because how can you trust at the end of the day when you don't know everything? And how could you know? This has been a roller coaster of an episode. And as I predicted at the beginning, while I had 2 topics, I also ended up tangenting into different stories in different areas. Today's theme, because I shared some very dark, heavy personal stories that aren't just personal to me. Today's theme is do what I said earlier. We all have choices. All of us. Every single one of us. Choose something productive. Choose something progressive. Choose something that is beneficial to not only just yourself, but the environment or a creature or a being around you. And if you think about it enough, it's very simple. We could do very, very simple things to benefit those around us. Go compliment a stranger. Go have a conversation with someone new. Check in on someone that you've been thinking about lately that you just haven't reached out to because you're afraid how they might respond. That's on them. You do you. Don't worry so much about other people. Worry about them and how they're doing. don't worry about their reactions. You can't control those. You can control how you react to their reactions. I truly think that all of us, every one of us, can be better than we are. I think we can coexist on this planet, create together, communicate together, and connect with each other. And I think having the internet allows us the opportunities to do so in ways we've never been able to do before. In new ways. In not better ways. Because what's better or worse, right? But think of Plur. If you're a raver, you know what Plur is. Peace, love, unity, and respect. I really need to go to a rave sometime, because to trade candy and do the Plur thing is like a dream come true. It has like, I believe from my limited understanding that it has a lot of like the fundamental beliefs I have for people just in general, love and peace and unity and respect. Like, can't go wrong with those. Peace, love, unity, respect, or respect. Peace, love, unity, respect. Yeah, that's how it goes. So it's peace, love, unity, respect. I was taught that one day by people who go to raves regularly. Still need to go to a rave. Still need to go to a rave. Still need to go to a rave. Who wants to be my rave mom or dad? My rave parent? I need a rave parent. I do not know what I'm doing, but I need a rave parent. I actually need a lot more parental figures than I care to admit. Mine weren't that great. No, I'm kidding. I had one good one. They were both good in their own ways, even with our turbulence. That's a conundrum I have to work out later, by the way. Or probably for the rest of my life. At this point, I'm kind of just stalling because I don't know what to do or how to end this show. Stomach, shut up. I know I should feed you. I haven't really been eating. I've been drinking a lot of coffee, though. I looked in the mirror and I'm a lot skinnier than I was 2 weeks ago, and I'm like, oh, I really haven't been eating. Oh, no. Or it's my mind playing tricks on me. I never know. Body dysmorphia and just living as a human being is weird. But yeah, we have the ability to connect in ways we never have before. And I am really glad that I got to connect with you here today. I hope I was able to teach, inspire, motivate, or entertain you on some level. Maybe, even if I didn't do those things, it was still nice to kind of listen to someone else's thoughts besides your own for a little bit. Or maybe you resonated with my own thoughts, and that just shows how human both of us are. Thank you for existing. Thank you for being you. Thank you for living in a world not always designed for us. And you know, I usually say don't forget to breathe. Definitely don't do that. Don't forget to breathe. Don't not breathe. But remember to breathe. Remember to drink water. Get a little bit of sunlight today. Move a little bit. Scream if you have to. But most importantly, keep going. Don't stop. Just keep going. Take a moment, take a break, take a pause if you need to. But keep going. Do not stop. And I will see you next time. Probably Monday for the first live stream. If not, then at least live stream Minecraft and recorded episode Monday. Bye, humans of Earth. Be safe. Ignore the blood on my hands again. And Yeah.